Okay, by the time you get to Perth Stadium, you'll know exactly where you sit. Will that change what you do to the team sheet, or are you going to go with?
No, we'll go with
regardless.
We'll prepare like we have every other week for this game to be to make sure we bring our best and play our best available people to hopefully stay in really good form. And that's all we're going to focus on. We've done really well, and I've been really strong on that with the whole group and for everyone that we stay in the moment. The moment is we've got to play Fremantle, a really good team on their home deck on Sunday afternoon.
So how many will you take?
We'll take because we're in Perth. We'll take the three emergencies with us to make sure we've got all coverage.
But there'll be no temptation. So if second spot's locked away and you go
no, there won't be. The only thing we'll do is we'll pick the fittest people who are available for us to play, and we expect that to be the blokes at this point. The ones that we think will finalise, which we won't finalise until tonight, so I won't give you that detail, but we think they'll be the ones who'll take the field.
Is that something that you could more so look to during the game, though, in terms of managing guys? I think you have done that maybe 1 or 2 times this season when you've...
Yeah, no, I don't... Look, we're pretty strong on just staying in the moment and staying in that game and doing everything we can to make sure we win that game of football, and I think that's our responsibility.
Does your high performance team agree with that, or is that a bit of a back and forth when they say, look, you give player X 2 weeks off?
Yeah, no, we always plan for this week and this week alone, and that's what we'll do, because it just gets too dangerous to get it anywhere ahead of that. Don't want to lose anything to do with momentum and form that we're trying to get going.
Are Connor and Asala all good after being sick and missing training yesterday?
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, we expect they'll be fine because it was early in the week, but yeah, they've had a cold. They've basically had a cold, so we expect they'll be okay.
Sweet.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Yep. So do we assume, and you've warned me about assuming?
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Mitch Georgiades, that's ticked in?
All things are pointing towards a positive.
How's Todd Marshall going in his recovery?
Yeah, Todd's good. He's really well now and doing well. He's clearly we've taken the precaution through advice and through history that we give him an extra week, and I think that's really a smart thing to do. And Todd will absolutely be available for us after this week.
So we don't know where Fremantle will be. They'll have knowledge before going, but what do you expect from them? And I think that 3 points last time at Adelaide Oval, they've got a fairly good record against them.
Oh, they're a very good
team.
team.
Expected.
The comp's so close. I mean, I get where the ladder and everything is at the moment. It's been so close. 2-3 weeks ago, they're sitting second or third on the ladder. It's just such a close competition. They're 1 win away from potentially 5th or something, I think. So they're a very good team, and it's a very even competition. So home deck against them is going to be a challenge.
Which is more important there, the way they play defensively, or that noted battle you have with them on the inside?
Oh, I think they've got a great balance in their game. I think they're a really good team. They've got some, an elite midfield that plays really good footy, and that'll be a real challenge for us. But I think they've got more than one phase of football. I think we'll get a little bit lost in some of their one style of football. I think Fremantle are a really balanced team.
5 games, obviously, for Dan Houston. The club tried and failed at the appeals board last night. How disappointing is that for the club?
Oh no, yeah. Well, it's clearly disappointing to lose a player of Dan's ability, but we understand everything that's gone on. The club did everything they could to support Dan through that and try and lessen the amount of time that he was out. We take the umpire's decision and we have to move on.
How do you replace him, Ken? I mean, you can't replace Dan, but how did you try to?
Yeah, no, you bring in another player who's capable of playing. We're very lucky with our halfbacks that we've got a number of players who are good players. It's really, as you said, if you're just going like for like, Dan Houston's probably going to be a 2-time All-Australian by the end of the year, so it's going to be hard to replace that. But I always say you don't lose the whole player, you do get to replace them, and we've got, Ryan Burns, a very good player, Josh Sinn's a very good player. They come in and play. They might not quite be Dan Houston just yet, but we're hoping that they can take a big slice of that.
I don't think we've ever known a fallout from a showdown like this one, but did the lip readers get it right? Did Matthew Nicks take issue with you about what Dan Houston did?
The only thing I want to say about last week, it was a private conversation, and we move forward. We have to. It's round 24, and that's all I'm focused on.
How do you support Dan as a coach?
Oh, you do as much as you possibly can. You understand that it was, for Dan, the decision that was, or the action that he took was, in the end, he got it wrong. He now pays the price out. We support him knowing that he's a very, very fair player, and a very good player, and a great person.
There's no wiggle room now if you do make a mistake like Dan, and clearly it wasn't a dirty play from Dan, he was instinctive in the moment. Can you guard against that Can players do anything, or is it just that's luck of the draw in that moment and you can't pull back, you've got to play at 100%?
Yeah, I think it's a really hard game to play. It is an instinctive game to play. Mistakes will continue to happen in this game as much as we don't want them to happen, but they do happen. We do our absolute best. Our players are educated really well on it. And to be fair, they've got enough education themselves, but it still goes to show that instinct in this game, a combative game, can make it really hard to make a split-second decision. We don't understand how tight a decision-making moment that they get to make those decisions.
You're hopeful, or sorry, are you confident they'll run out in the 4 Cairns again?
Yeah.
Yeah. What gives you that confidence, Ken?
I've mentioned plenty of times in the past what we think and we understand about Dan. He's been a very, very, very important part. He's our leadership player. He's got a 3-year contract with our footy club. He loves our footy club.
I think 50%.
I'm really comfortable that Dan will play more games for Port.
The style of play you've had just recently seems very much designed to stand up in September. Is that filling you with a fair bit of confidence, considering what's been September in the past?
Look, the season's been so up and down for different clubs at different times, and I think at the moment we're playing really strong footy. The challenge for us is to keep playing strong footy starting on Sunday, and that's what we hope we can do. And if we can play in that vein of form for however much longer, that will give us the best chance.
But is it true that it's a style of footy that traditionally stands up in September, that it seems to be, it's more gritty, it's more resilient?
How do I answer that, Rich, without being disrespectful? I think it's the way we've always tried to play.
Okay.
Do you look at your list at this time compared to last year in terms of the injuries and go, we can give this a red hot crack? We finally got the personnel. Does that fill you with some confidence as well?
I think we're in a really good spot to take on Fremantle, and that's what we're really focused on. And if we give ourselves a chance against Fremantle, we'll take care of the next game after that.
How hard is it going to be for Todd to get back and play in that first week of finals without Sample and? You know?
Oh, I know there's some challenges with that, but Todd's a really good player. He's a really natural player. We bring him in pretty quickly normally, and we like him in our team.
You touched on Ryan Burton before about replacing Dan. From the bits of training we've seen this week, seems like he's more alongside the back line. Should we expect him to
Yeah, you would have seen him and Sinny and Dylan Williams all playing in the half-back line this week of training.
But for him, obviously, I can play that forward.
Yeah, we'd like to think Ryan's capable of going back and playing really well. He's played most of his footy there, so it's not a long bow to draw.
How's Willie Rioli travelling after the events earlier in the week?
Oh yeah, no, Willie's fine. It's again, it's a repeat thing that continues to happen. He knows he's got our support, and he knows he's got the broader community support. He's got 99%, I think, support in all these situations. We wish and want them to stop. They don't seem to stop, though.
What's
Yeah, it does. Pisses me right off, to be honest, that people are allowed to get away with that stuff. I think it's a blight on those people.
How's Charlie handling the demand of being ruck again?
Seems to be okay. Seems to be okay. He seems to be coping. It's been an interesting year. It's been an interesting year for him, so I look forward to him playing really well on Sunday.
You touched on, in the lead up to the showdown, I think we asked you about the theatre and obviously Rash's comments and what happened, and I think your response was every time that players and coaches try to add to the theatre, the media and the fans get on your back. Do you think the events and the fallout of the showdown have once again proven that this week?
I think so.
So how do we make it better then, without making it dangerous?
How do we make it better and not make it dangerous? I don't know. You just write the stories.